What are the first 3 things that you will fall in love with when you move here to Spain? Well, I'm about to tell you. Hola gente, my name is Cameron Clark and I have been living here in Spain for just over 2 months now, and these are the first 3 things that I fell in love with, which I think you will fall in love with about this beautiful country as well. Kicking things straight off with Numero uno is a bit of a double. It's the people and the culture. So the people here are very friendly, very social, very welcoming, very patient. I don't speak fluent Spanish just yet, so I found that they are very understanding. They do give you your time to express yourself, just to make yourself understood when you're speaking. Probably the most memorable things I've had about the people and the culture here is a couple of months ago when me and Lara, we went out for a Christmas meal with her family. It was a few of us, we arrived earlier, and then maybe 5-10 minutes later the rest of the group came. It's always quite funny when you are in a situation where Spanish are greeting each other. It's almost like you're surrounded by a bunch of ducks. The cultural thing here, when you do greet your friends and your families, you give them 2 kisses on the cheek. So when there's like 5 to 10 people greeting each other all at once, it's like it is really funny. At first I wasn't quite confident with it. It's just like, okay, do I kiss you? I don't know you. But after 2 days maybe you're completely used to it. It's just, hey, how you doing? Very, very nice. Back in England you normally get your one dish for you, that's sort of it. Maybe there'll be some leftovers in the kitchen if you want to help yourself if you're a bit hungry. But in Spain I found it to be completely different. It's almost like a complete free-for-all, because the food gets put in the center of the table and then you have to dive straight in to make sure you're getting your fair share. You don't get your own dish, you've got to take what you want. And I will warn you, some of them, they do not hesitate to take as much as they want, so make sure you are diving in to get your fair share as well. Speaking of food, that leads me on to numero dos, which is the food. Absolutely incredible, from paella to jamon to Spanish omelette to the fruit and the vegetables. The food here is just so nice. It's very fresh. Lots of stuff isn't imported, it's actually grown in the country. So the tomatoes, the peppers, the oranges. I especially enjoy walking around the Mercado Central, which you can see here, or here I did make a video about that. Again, back in England, the tomatoes maybe the size of the fist if you're lucky, typically a lot smaller, but here absolutely huge. Peppers the size like this. I remember when I was here a few days ago rather, was the first time I saw a thing which is called the broccoli, not a broccoli, broccoli flower, broccoli. Let me see what it was called. The brocco flower. So the brocco flower, I'll put a picture of it there. It's a cross between a broccoli and a cauliflower. Never seen one before. It looks like it's on drugs almost, this plant, but super fresh, super nice. As well, when you're eating out in Spain, my favourite thing about the food and the restaurants is you get what is known as a menú del día, which is a set menu with like your first dish, your second dish. It comes with a dessert, a drink and a coffee if you're lucky, and the nice ones. Typically they change every day the menu, so you get a nice variety, unless of course you're going out for tapas, but I will be making videos about tapas in the future, so do make sure you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're aware when that video comes out as well. The Menú del Día typically comes with one set cost for those dishes, which leads me on to numero tres, which is the cost. Cost of living here is a lot cheaper, I found, than England. So the Menú del Día, for the 3 dishes, the coffee and the drink, I've typically found it between €8 and €12, which is very good for 3 dishes and 2 drinks if you're lucky. The food is very cheap, the drink is even cheaper, so like the beers, the wines, you can get a litre of beer in the shops for just 60 cents. Our local vineyards shop, they sell wine by the litre, and again it's just €1, super cheap. And when you're eating out, maybe the beer and the wine can be cheaper than actually getting the water here, which is surprising. They do enjoy a drink here in Spain, but it's very cheap. It's nice if you're just having a nice glass of wine with your tapas, with your paella. Obviously the food and the drink aren't the only things that are relatively cheap here. I've also found the rent to be quite cheap. Now I haven't moved yet. Me and Lara, we are still staying in a family house here in BR, which is just outside of the main city until we both find jobs. In a village outside of the city. I haven't looked in the city just yet, but we've looked and you can find maybe a 2-3 bedroom flat furnished for €400 per month, which is quite cheap for rent compared to the UK. Rent, from what I've seen, can be quite cheap, but again, I will let you know once I have moved. I'll go more into detail about the prices. The only thing that I have found quite surprising was the second-hand market. The second-hand market here can be quite expensive, surprisingly, especially with cars. A car that will maybe cost you £700 to £1,000 back in the UK typically could cost you €2,000, €3,000 here in Spain. Now again, that is because of a cultural thing where the Spanish, they like to use something until they can't use it anymore. So there's not too many cars or second-hand things for sale because they're still being used, which means there's less supply but more demand, which drives the prices up, of course. So that's a bit of the flip side of the cost here in Spain for you. Do you live in Spain already? What were the first 3 things that you fell in love with? Let me know in the comments down below and I'll be very interested. So I've got that market video just here for you. The orange orchard video, if you want to see how fresh they are, that one's just there. Hit this subscribe button if you do want to subscribe, and until next time, ciao for now.